Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it's time for a power building training vlog. Today was glute and hamstring day, and I started off with a conventional deadlift. Again, power building kind of makes sense that I do that. So I've actually had some people ask me, like one of my clients said, hey, if you ever cut this down to 3 days because your volumes are a little lower, and I do 5 for a reason, and I'm not going to go into all that in detail in this vlog. Where would you throw this? Would you throw it on leg day or like a pull day? It's like, I would probably do it on pull day for power building, right? Even if I did all the glutes and hamstrings on the leg day, like on a Friday, I'd still probably do this right before pull-ups and stuff. Again, just to divide it up on different days. But came in, did just a nice, easy deadlift. And as I said, I think for some of these big structural movements, I'm going to throw the belt back on. Okay, I don't need the belt for other stuff, but I feel like deadlifts, squats, maybe standing presses. I feel like maybe throwing the standing press back in instead of seated. It kind of makes sense for me to wear the belt, right? Just for core bracing and everything. So again, not 100% raw on everything like I've been, but we'll take it. So up next, after I just did an easy 500 deadlift, I really have to get used to pulling heavy singles again. So I'm going to have to just build that back up. One of the things I've noticed is, again, the amount of DOMs I've been getting lately with some of this training, though, it's like I've noticed it interferes with the deadlift. So I've got to get used to all that. Like even today, like my pecs have DOMs. Right, but if we're going to do less total sets, so I ended up doing about 6 work sets outside of the deadlifts for my posterior chain here. So this stuff needs to be pretty close to failure or to failure. Now the RDLs, I got them really, really close, probably not true failure. I went to failure on the other stuff, glute ham raises and everything. RDLs, I guess this is a topic. People are like, why not strap up? Because my grip's not really a limiting factor and it gives me grip training, right? I can hold on to 315 pretty dang long. So again, didn't have a grip issue, so why do it? For me, it's extra grip training. But because the grip has been messing with my deadlift a little bit, I do need more grip work back in, so I decided to do plate pinches, right? Did some plate pinches coming in. And for this, I noticed I couldn't even handle a pair of the 45s with these calibrated ones, right? With the smooth sides outwards. I could only hold it for a couple seconds. So I gave up and I'm like, let me just take 20 pounds off and use that 25. Although it might be easier because it's plastic and not painted steel. I don't know if it's just the weight, it's probably the texturing too. So I feel like if I can get to where I can hold on to a pair of the 45s that way, I should be able to grip 600 plus pounds again. That's been about historically where I'm at. So I did 2 of those kind of in between these other exercises, did 2 holds like that. Then of course we did glute ham raises. I did these with pretty short breaks because I did that other work and I'm trying to keep these workouts short. I really want my workouts less than 45 minutes. With the amount of volumes I'm doing, so I'm keeping them pretty short. So short rests. Doing these to failure with short breaks is kind of a secondary exercise, as I just did the RDLs and everything for rep work. My performance loss was dramatic set to set. We got 12 reps on the first set, right? Notice that, 12 reps, right? Failed, couldn't do 13. Then it went 8. And then I only got 6 and I failed on rep 7. So literally with those short breaks, now how short? We're talking like a minute. Did these a minute apart to failure. Now we could argue about not maximizing performance set to set, but I'm going to say, yeah, but we already did other heavier work. We came in and did these to failure. I think we're going to get good stimulus from it. I think it's perfectly fine. But again, maybe I need to build that work capacity to doing this, building that work capacity. But the other thing is, it's kind of like I've said, if we're going to do 2 main exercises per muscle, I need them to be very different. So it's like even for, I think, the chest day, it needs to be a flat and an incline, so on and so forth. All right. So if we're going to train in that manner, I want them to be very different. So one was a pure stretch position hip hinge. And then what was the other one? Right? We've got that knee flexion. right? So we're literally definitely working the different functions of the hamstring quite a bit differently there for those main exercises. That alone, that's actually, I've said before, if you really want a great combination to really maximize hamstrings, I've said before, doing an RDL followed by a glute ham raise works pretty dang good. Now, all of that being said, why am I putting RDL? I'm putting RDL in everything, and it's kind of a funny story. This goes to show you how goofy social media gets sometimes. I'm doing that because one time when on Facebook, because this goes on all my stuff, goes on the YouTube and Facebook, I use the term RDL like as the Romanian, the full thing we call it, and I got a strike for racism. I literally got it for that. That's why I kind of laugh when people always accuse me of you've done really whatever, those type of things in videos. Actually, I really haven't. If I did, the strikes I would have gotten would have been ludicrous. So again, nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Like you can't even get away sometimes with calling something an RDL. Right? I have literally gotten a strike for that before. Not on YouTube. YouTube's pretty strict though. It's just silliness. Like, even though that's what the whole lifting world calls it and has for generations. Okay. But it's not even that good of a term for it, is it really? Because it's not even a deadlift. We should maybe just call it a handheld hip hinge, right? That would be an appropriate term. All right, reverse hypers, I've decided again, let's take weight off, just because also I think I'll need the same thing for the leg extensions. I'm like, let's do them as strict as possible. People are always like, you don't control. I'm like, they don't understand when you're on roller bearings. When you're on roller bearings, it's actually really, really, really hard to control the swing. It's really hard. Look how light you have to go. But I decided to do it, and you know what? I got a hell of a pump in my lower back. Even getting to 30 reps, trying to do them super strict, we really, really got that. And then we'll throw the deadlift in here a couple more times. We can watch some more pulling, right? More deadlifts. So again, the 500, just to re-note on this was obviously an easy pull. If you guys look, there's minimal strain. Held it at the top a few seconds and set it down. I'm not trying to go crazy heavy on these right now. I just need to maintain the movement pattern and start building singles back up as I continue to get leaner and work on my physique. So for anyone's curious why I'm doing that, some of that's going to be just like yesterday on the bench. I just did a nice good pause at 315. Just building some of these singles back up for the power building. They don't need to actually be maxes. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.